Hey y'all, it's Lippy with Gemini Homestead. I'm about to make a fast, easy supper. We're going to have baked chicken breast with a little twist. Now you can, in this recipe, I'm going to use bone-in, skin-on, but you can use boneless chicken breast. The side dish is going to be succotash. Now some of you may be asking, what is succotash? But while the chicken is baking, we're going to whip up the side dish. Now, succotash is usually something served in the summer. But when you got a craving for something, you just got to make it up with what you got available. So, I'm going to pull the camera down, let you see what I do with the chicken breast. Now, I grew up being told this was called German fried chicken. I have no idea where the German came from. But that's just what I was told. Basically, it's baked chicken breast with melted butter, Ritz crackers. So I might need to come up with another name, or should I just leave German fried chicken? So I'm going to bring the camera down and let you see how I mix it up. I have two very large chicken breasts, bone-in, skin-on. And what I've done with my fingers, I have gone in and I've lifted the skin using my fingers, just working around. Now I've already done it, but I'm going to demonstrate. And I removed the skin so I could get to the meat, okay? Then you can stretch the skin back over. I did that so I could add some of this melted butter underneath. But to this I have 1 stick of unsalted melted butter. I have not quite a teaspoon, so let's just go a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of parsley flakes, a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper, and a quarter of a teaspoon of your choice of Cajun seasoning. To this bowl, I have 1 sleeve of Ritz crackers that I've just crumbled in the package. To this, I've added half a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. You can omit that and just use black pepper. And I've got garlic powder and a little bit of the dried parsley. Now that's all I've done. I've set the chicken breast on a lined baking sheet, and that's all I've done. I've got the oven preheated at 400. But I just noticed something. I need to get a spoon, so hold on just a minute. Okay, you know how hard that was? I had to use my pinky to get it out. I'm going to mix this around, and I'm just going to take a little teaspoon, and I'm going to pour it up in there, and then I'm going to take that skin and rub it around a little bit more. And what that's going to do, that's going to keep that meat moist. That's why I like the skin on it. It acts as a blanket. All right, we're going to put some inside here. Now, I do my whole baked chickens like this, only I add rosemary. I don't have any rosemary available right now. It's in the garden, and I just didn't feel like going out there in the cold. We'll put a little bit more. That's a large one. We've got enough butter. We can do this. All right. Let me set this down here. Tell you what, I'm going to walk over to the sink and get a wet paper towel. I've got my wet paper towel. Okay, this is where the fun begins, y'all. Look at that. Look at this. That could feed 2 people. And it will. Buddy and I are going to split this tonight. And you see how that butter starts crystallizing, y'all, on that cold chicken, which I've let this chicken sit on the counter for 30 minutes. And you nearly need to do that. You need to bring that meat down to almost room temperature. All right, you see where I'm going, huh? I might have made my bowls a little bit small. I didn't realize the chicken breasts were so huge. Now, you could use a Ziploc bag. Then you don't have a mess. But I don't mind a mess because it does save money. And I'm just going to put a little bit on there. Shake it down because we're going to pack it on there once it gets on the cookie sheet. Okay, we're going to take this one. Get it rolled in there. Y'all are going to love the succotash. It's probably one of my favorite go-tos. Now you're thinking, well, she's not really coating it. Oh, yes, I am. Watch and see. Because the main thing is you're trying to get to the bottom of it. Let me put this one right here. All right, now we're going to come in with the rest of it. See, I mainly wanted to get the underneath covered. Now, y'all could use other, I guess, crackers or, I don't, you know, maybe a stuffing mix, you know, to your flavor. But I'm kind of reminiscing what I grew up on. And I'm just going to pack them in. You really want it packed in. Now, we're not going to waste that butter, y'all. No, no. Can't waste that butter. Just watch what we do with it. You really want every nook and cranny covered. There we go. Y'all, this is so good. Now, let me get my fork. Get this mixed up some. Yeah, your hands become a mess, but hey, that's okay when you come up with this kind of meal. Okay, all I'm doing is putting the rest of this butter. I'm equally dividing it. Okay, and what this is going to do, let me pick up some of this. See, it kind of makes like a paste. Because you want that skin completely covered. This is going to go in the oven, y'all. 400 degrees. Now, as thick as these are, I'm thinking 45 minutes at 400 degrees. If they were smaller, of course, you know, it'd be less time. You see, I'm steadily getting these Ritz crackers to cover all this chicken. I'm going to get my hands washed before I put them in the oven. We're going to put these in the oven. 400 degrees for about 45 minutes. And then I'm going to get the succotash cooking. We're ready to make succotash. Now I'm going to lower the camera here in just a second. I've got my skillet here. It's heating up. Now, if you do not have lard, oh, I've got something in my eye. Take you 3 slices of bacon, cut them up, and render the drippings of the bacon. So all I'm going to do right now is just put some lard in my skillet. That's all I'm going to do. Now I'll tell y'all, I learned this from my best friend 32, 33 years ago. She was from Northumberland, Pennsylvania. And she was down here in Louisiana because her husband was military. And we worked together. She's no longer with us. I miss her daily. But I'm so proud of this recipe. We used to joke, no pun intended, but she put a little Yankee in me and I put a little Cajun in her. So I'm going to bring the camera down, show you the ingredients that's about to go in. Okay, I'm guesstimating about 2 tablespoons of bacon drippings. Okay, but now remember, this is lard, but you'll probably end up with bacon drippings, but I still call this my bacon drippings. Now, I've got it heating about a medium heat, and this is going to go real fast. And you're going to see the ingredients I'm using, why it's really a summer meal, but it's so good in the winter too. Now, this is a medium diced yellow sweet onion. Now, if you were using the bacon, you would leave those bacon pieces in. Okay? And what I'm going to do, instead of going down the list of ingredients, as I add it, you'll see the ingredients I'm adding. Now, all I want to do is get these translucent. It's going to take 2 to 3 minutes to get them translucent. Starting to get translucent. been about 2.5 minutes. Now, here comes the summer. This is a cup of diced cherry tomatoes. Now, we're in December, so I had to purchase these. I do not have a hothouse right now or my greenhouse growing cherry tomatoes. So as you can see, we're bringing summer back, y'all, to December. Now, I don't want them completely mush, so I'm not going to add any salt at this moment. I just want them to get a little on the soft side, but not mush. And again, we're on about a medium heat. Now, we're going to come in with 3 garlic cloves. I didn't add the garlic at the front with the onions. They would have blistered. So that's 3 crushed garlic cloves. This is really a dish you can make your own for your family's liking. Okay. Ooh, I smell that garlic. Now, do you see the color of the onion starting to change? Now, this is where we're going to go in. There's a secret to this. Just a little salt at this point. Because what we're going to do is we're going to bring that moisture out of them tomatoes. This is 4 cups of fresh frozen corn. That would be equivalent to 4 ears, which is exactly what this was in the freezer. That's 4 ears of corn, just cut off the cob. You could even buy frozen corn. But it's 4 cups, which is equivalent to 4 ears. We're going to turn our heat down some. Now, I've got it down to about on the high side of low. This is where I'm going to come in with some pepper. Again, this is to your taste. I love the black pepper. We're going to come in with some salt. We're going to come in with some garlic powder. And I have dried some parsley. Now, I'm thinking a good teaspoon of this, but then again, it's to your taste. That'll be enough. Whatever's left on your hand, just rake it in there. And about a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Now, that's definitely optional, y'all, okay? Basically, we're just warming. We don't want to go too high heat now. Okay, now that you see the tomatoes are getting tender, we're going to crank it up to on the high side of medium. Just to add 2 cans of rinsed, very well rinsed and drained lima beans. Now, you could use frozen as long as they were pre-cooked. Or you could just start with dry limas and cook them. You could, if you had canned, as in mason jar, you know, canning, as long as you drain the juice. I used 2 cans of lima beans, and I drained them very well and rinsed them. And y'all, this is succotash. And the reason why I put it kind of on a high heat, because now I'm going to mash it down, and I want that corn. See, that corn's going to weigh heavier than anything else. It'll drop to the bottom, and it's actually going to singe, you know, almost like a roasted corn. But you're going to stir it. This is basically done. Now, I'm going to use a champagne vinegar. You can use a red wine vinegar. I just find this is milder. Now, this is just an optional, because I'm only going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon just because, ooh, that looks so good. Just because I'm not a real vinegar fan. My husband is, I'm not. So I'm going to use, I might go a half a teaspoon. That's why I prefer a champagne vinegar, because it's milder. We're going to get that chicken out. We fix and eat supper, y'all. Okay, guys. I told you they were so big that we had to split it in half. Let me see if I can get the angle. I don't know if that's a clear picture, but I wanted y'all to see how thick that breast was. So that gives us another chicken breast for tomorrow. But this is a Northumberland side dish, succotash, from Pennsylvania. And then German fried chicken. I still don't know why it was called that, but I know it's really good. So we're about to sit down, eat us a blessed meal, and until next time, God bless.